for me, like personally, if you ask me, it was definitely that performance against Liverpool with 10 men, which kind of was telling me that hey, this Chelsea side has character not just in the cups but in the league as well. Obviously, we need to do it over the course of time, like Bobby said. But Husam, I'll come to you because as a Liverpool fan, right? As in you obviously watched that game very closely, and we did review in detail as well already in the channel. But for you, looking at that game or just generally, Chelsea's season generally, like, for you, what is that one attribute that you think that Chelsea has that maybe other teams, maybe Liverpool, maybe others kind of don't have? And one attribute that maybe you feel that Chelsea are not really convincing in. So what is your thought there?
Like I said, I have said Chelsea are favourites for the title, and I stand by it. 7 games into the season, nothing has happened to change my mind yet. The one reason I hate the argument that if player X and player Y get injured, they're in trouble, that applies to every team in the league. That literally applies to every team on earth, I could argue. Because if Lukaku and Mendy get injured, that's season over for Chelsea, because it's Kepa and Werner, and we have seen that movie before. So look, if you have your 2-3 important players out, then you can't really say, like, it's like it affects all football clubs. So I think so far so good. Defensively very structured. The midfield, Mateo Kovacic, extremely underrated player. I really like him as a footballer. When it comes to your front options, I think the only weakness right now Chelsea has is the 2 players behind Lukaku. Sometimes not supplying Lukaku enough, not helping him enough. Sometimes not getting on the end of things. Link-up play is slower and stuff. So all of these things come into play. But look, here's at the end of the day, the one disadvantage Chelsea suffered from is the other 2 teams in the league title race, which is Liverpool and City, have both proven that they could win 16, 17 games in a row. Chelsea have not done that yet. We can easily see, like, I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever if City win every game from October till February. I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever. They've done it before, and they could win 18, 19 in a row. We've shown we could win 18, 19 in a row. Chelsea, now to be entered into that upper echelon of competitiveness, need to do that as well. Could need to do that as well this season. So that's the thing. However, I still remain like with my opinion that I said on the summer. I really think Chelsea are favourites for the league this season.
Okay, as in that's certainly impressive, and again, respect to Sam to actually point it out specifically, as in that's something of great note. But coming to you, Rich, because I think Rich, again, we have kind of chatted a lot offline, but for you, as in looking at Chelsea, I know obvious answer may have been Lukaku, but like maybe Husam said about Kovacic, which is that one player that has really impressed you, which has you have been taken aback by one Chelsea player, and maybe some player who's also underwhelmed at the same time?
Yeah, it's difficult to pick out one player. I think what impresses me most about Chelsea, honestly, is like just when you look through the results, the number of clean sheets. Because I'm looking at my team, we can't keep a clean sheet no matter who we play. So I think just it's maybe the impressive thing is the defensive organisation, because when we saw City go on a run last season and they won lots of games, it was 1-0, 1-0. They didn't create loads of chances. They didn't have to win 3 or 4-0. And it is about having that solidity at the back where we can't really win games 1-0. We keep drawing 1-1 with teams we should be beating, and we give them very, very good chances to even maybe beat us, like we saw in our last game. So for me, annoyingly for a rival fan, it's just looking at teams actually scoring against Arsenal, because against Chelsea, because you beat Arsenal 2-0, you beat Spurs 3-0, you drew 1-1 with Liverpool, but that was with 10 men, which is impressive. So it's just the only question mark really is, I think, like Timo Werner, is he going to contribute enough goals? Like Lukaku, are you reliant on Lukaku to score? Because I think the argument was whether you can convert draws into wins if teams do score against you and you have closer games. I think Lukaku definitely... Manchester United fans are divided on Lukaku, and the argument was always that he scored plenty against the small teams, which ironically seem to be the teams we now can't beat. But Lukaku did a great job against those guys. So I think, honestly, Lukaku is a great player to have. And the argument seems crazy when you look at the international goals he's got, the goals he's got in every single team he's played at. He's going to get you plenty of goals. It's whether or not there's other people in the team that are going to help him with that, because obviously your penalty taker was your top goal scorer last season, which is kind of a strange situation. So it's maybe maybe it's the extra striking options backing up Lukaku could be a potential weakness, but it's nitpicking because you look a very solid team at the moment, and also look at the games you played. You've already played the challengers, haven't you? You've already played Manchester City, you've already played Liverpool, you've comfortably beaten teams that would be a bit below them, like Spurs. So yeah, it's difficult to find fault, really, annoyingly.
Again, it's kind of a mixed time for me, because again, it was a fantastic start, I would say. Even though we were not in gear 4, we were still in gear 2, I would say, but still we got great results and specific half performances.